Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back to another episode of Logging. No, I was going to say Logging from Scratch. FDR Logging, same thing. Man, I went to my absolute muscle instincts on that one. I was like, wait, what am I saying? Logging from Scratch? That's not right. FDR Logging, because that's who we are, and that's what we're doing. You can tell I had a long day. I'm just going to kick off with some bunching here, because I wanted to clean up this last little section here. Before we move on. Oh man, that was wild. That wasn't very good bunching skills. Let's throw these over here. So yeah, it's been a very long day, but yet here we are, back at our favorite HQ doing the logging stuff. So figured I'd record a video before the evening was over for entertainment purposes, for not only you guys but for myself, just to break that day up. Subject wise, nothing too crazy. It's funny, actually. I filmed another video before I started this one regarding, this might be outdated by the time you see it, but so I put a big post out on Facebook about inputs, talking about control bindings, keyboards, Xbox controllers, that kind of stuff. And I put this post out about it, and I just basically was saying, you have to set up your controls. Like my video shows you, everything's blank. You have to do it yourself. There's no real easy way to set it up. And that is still true for joysticks. You still have to set your joysticks up, just because they are treated as a special anomaly of their own. But it was shortly after that video that I made, or that post that I made, that I discovered a way to make it so that the FDR input binding file that I have, the one that comes with all the mods, that Z FDR input one, I found a way to make it so that it automatically will set the controls for an Xbox controller, like a default Xbox controller, and mouse and keyboard. And I had no idea I could do that. And that was by sheer discovery of my own, by accident. And then I felt kind of embarrassed after that post, because I was like, well, damn, I just told everybody how I can't really do this, and now I can. But you know what? I'd rather own up to not knowing that I could do it and fixing it, as opposed to just pretending I never discovered that and kept going. So I want to make it easier for people. So anyway, now when you start the game, I have a video that came out about it a while back, but now when you start the game, if you go to reset all, actually, I think it's your first time starting the game, it'll just automatically set. But if not, if you go to reset all in your controls, it'll automatically set all the key bindings for an Xbox controller, mouse, and keyboard to match the in-game excavator. So if you run like the Volvo and that kind of stuff, it'll match that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, just one way to make it slightly easier. And yeah, I absolutely stumbled upon that by pure stupid accident. I had no idea I could force the game to set those. Well, first, so most of these mouse, keyboard, joystick, that kind of stuff, I thought keyboard, or the joysticks anyway, have a unique USB ID that gets plunged into the program. So when you're setting up your controls, you plug in a joystick or whatever, it has this long, unique identifier number that's this really weird coded out number. And it's not something you can just force, because everybody's code is different. Because we tried that earlier with the logging crew last year, where we tried sharing each other's input bindings to see if it would work. And it doesn't. Actually, I think the Xbox controller ones worked, but the other ones didn't. And I found out why. So the Xbox controllers and the mouse and keyboard are just a universal default number in the key binding. So it's like Xbox controller 1 or X controller 1. It's just a default setting for the Xbox controller. So there's no unique special ID for your Xbox controller. But for joysticks, there still is, because I tried to force that and it doesn't work. So yeah, anyways, if it's just a default thing, then I'm able to force those controls in there to match what the game is. So then when you load up the FDR logging mods, the controls are just poof, there they are. Or if you hit reset, like that other video I have tells you, then it'll just do it and the way you go, which is pretty cool. Where are we going here with this path of righteousness that we're driving on? Can we go up this hill? Yes, we could. We could just work our way up to the other road, I guess, if we really wanted to. We should probably start heading in this direction. Problem is we're getting kind of hilly up here, so I was trying to avoid that a bit if I could. Trying to avoid the hills, but you know what? Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes the hills just be there. But yeah, anyway, so that's one discovery I thought was kind of neat, and hopefully will improve new players' experiences, because I was getting tons of comments from people just saying that the controls didn't work, and I start the game and none of the machines will move like the in-game ones do. And I'm like, well, yeah, you got to set the controls, but then people don't do that or don't want to do that. And I think, like I said in a previous video, I think there's a lot of people that are really just want to plug and play, whether it be laziness or just low effort, which is fine. So me, as a person producing mods that I want people to play, I can't just be like, well, you're all lazy and you suck for new people that want to play. I have to adhere to the fact that people are a touch lazy and try to make it easier for them. And that's the way I'm looking at it. I've found a way to make it easier for them, so why not take advantage of that, right? Why not indeed? But yeah, it's good. Good changes. Good positive changes. I actually, I mean, I've done it before a long time ago, but I haven't done it in a while. I actually used an Xbox controller and tinkered with controls and tried playing around. You know, it's actually not terrible. I was able to load a trailer probably in about 3 times the amount of time it usually takes you with my joysticks, but I actually was like, you know what? You could get really good at this if you sat here and practiced. The annoying part that I'm sure all of you people who use Xbox controllers or controllers in general, you can't just swing your cab around and use your boom and that freely. You have to hold down an action button. So one I had set was R1, like your right bumper button. So you have to hold that down the whole time when you're operating to basically set the controls to a different setting to operate. You can't just swing your joysticks around and like I'm doing right now with these joysticks that are just live on demand. You have to actually hold down like an action button, which I thought's kind of dumb, but I've also heard a lot of complaints about that from other people, so that's just part of the beautiful farming simulator world, man. But yeah, I'm always striving to make it easier if I can. I also fixed some of these processors so that when you start the game, so like I'm actually going to go use the processor now because we got some piles. But when you start the game, one of the problems I had from people was that the processor heads had the claws closed. I don't think it was the claws, the rollers closed. So they had that secondary set of rollers was closed when you buy it, and you'd have to find a button on an Xbox controller that would allow you to use them, and there just really isn't that many buttons to play with on them. You're kind of maxed out. So I made it so when you start the game, these are all open. So the head is always going to be face down, and the claws are going to be wide open like that. So that way, like, you have easy control over these grab arms or grab knives here. So those are easy peasy. That's not a big deal. But if I wanted to process with this, of course I'm on a hill, so this is going to be a bad example. I could technically just use those grab arms and rotate the head as I go, as opposed to trying to open and close the claws and do all that stuff. So that way you can just, like I'm doing right now, lazy mode, where you don't even use the rollers that are on there. They're just strictly for look. Oh my god, you're gonna have to go like this. That's why you don't process on a hill downward. This is silly. But now I'm going to use the claws because I can. So yeah, again, things with joysticks, obviously you're going to have a better time. I just thought it was funny that I kind of self-embarrassed myself because I was like, make this big post. Guys, just set your controls. There is no easy button. And then like a week later, I'm like, ah, shit, there's an easy button. Oh man, now I feel dumb. Oh, well, you know what? That's just part of discovery. I think it's worse of a thing for you to find out that you were wrong about something and then just pretend it didn't happen, as opposed to being like, ah, damn, you know what? Actually, I was totally wrong. Let's make this an easier experience for people and just admit that we didn't know. All the all-knowing me didn't know. What are the chances, hey? There's tons of stuff that I don't know. I always tell people that. Especially like when I'm doing modding and stuff. I'm like, everyone's like, oh, you're such a mod guru, you're the master. I was like, not really. I mean, like, I know a lot of stuff and I can make a lot of stuff work and all, but I don't know lots of things as well. And there's lots of things I'm sure that I do wrong that other modders probably look at and go, FDR, why do you do this, you idiot? But you know what? I'm just doing my thing and kind of having fun. I always want to improve to the best of my ability, but you know what? I'm human too, and sometimes I'm just lazy. That's just life. I think if, like I said, I always say this, and I've said this a million times, if this was my only thing that I did, like my only job, FDR Logging was the wake up 9 to 5 job, and I didn't have any other BS going on in my life with careers and work related crap, I bet you I could do some really crazy stuff. Or I would run out of ambition right away and get bored and quit. It would be one or the other. No in between. But because this is definitely more of a side hobby of a thing, it's not a career, it's not something I can really business to the point where I can stop working and live off of it financially, then it's always going to be kind of that side hobby thing. And I also do not recommend doing what I'm doing, which is processing on a friggin' hill this sharp. This is just stupid what I'm doing. Much better to drag it down, bring it down somewhere easy. You know, it's actually, the logs are sitting on the ground quite reasonably though, to be honest, like looking at them. I increased the frictions a bit in the, well, this was an update a while ago, and the weights, not the weights a lot, like a tinch, just to play with the frictions a bit better. And honestly, like, I mean, these are sitting pretty good. I'm sure they're sliding a little bit that I can't see, but for the most part, they kind of drop and stick to the ground the way I want them to, as they are supposed to. But you know what? In real life, they slide down hills too. Like, I've watched some pretty interesting logs slipping down the video, or slipping down the mountain videos. So it's not an impossibility. But now we got that sweet Clark forwarder, so we can use that to move all this stuff loaded on a weird downhill angle. The hardest part is just grabbing these things, not so much cutting them or stacking them. It's just getting a hold of them when they're out of 45, which is why I kind of tip the processor head to a little bit of an angle just to kind of make life easy. So like my return spot, watch as it goes up, it'll go whoop. It's almost like a 45. I could probably even go a little bit sharper. So that way when I grab my tree, I'm already kind of at flat level with it. I remember somebody asking about that. Why the hell did I run my processor at a weird angle? That's why I do it. It just makes it easier to pick it up. And then automatically when I make my first cut, the processor head goes limp. So right now it's like limp and loose, and then it'll return to that hard position. Anyway, you take that however you want, but as soon as I cut into it, see how it goes limp. Let's see, well, I don't know, that's the terminology I'm going to use for it. It just allows the free movement. Let's say free movement. I like that better. Free movement versus fixed movement. That sounds way less inappropriate. So again, turn the first cut on. It is now in free movement mode, where the tree can swing with the processor head and the tree are all best friends, and life is good. And again, there's no like perfect way to do anything like real life in this game. There's so many strange sacrificial moves that you have to make to get it to even act slightly close to real life. But you know what? I still to this day think there's not, like, in the consumer, available to consumers, which are you guys and me, people who consume products, the general public, this is still the best experience, in my opinion, in terms of getting close to the logging experience. I haven't found anything else that can beat it. I've seen a few other simulators. I've seen a few other games that have similar style features. But there's a reason I'm still sticking with Farming Simulator. That's because it works good. That, and I don't really think I would want to relearn a whole nother editor. Unless it was a really good editor, then I could just figure it out. But this is probably the easiest editor to learn with trial and error. Some of the other ones I've seen with other games are like crazy scripting and I'm sure it's stuff you can figure out, but a lot of it doesn't really... I'm going to cut that one again. A lot of it doesn't really offer anything that's super special in terms of reasons to switch. Like I said, if they were to make a spin tires, SnowRunner, roadcraft / farming simulator hybrid or something, then you'd be in the money. I mean, look how popular those games were just on their own. Now imagine if you could combine them. You would basically niche out the market. You'd have it. It'd be yours. That'd be your baby. I just need a millionaire to come along, or a billionaire, and be like, hey, Jordan, I want you to produce the world's most intense-ass logging game you've ever seen. And I will find a team, and we will make a game. And we will fight our way through it. And try to give it... You know, it's crazy, though. You see the amount of companies that are creating simulator experiences for their companies. Every single one of them. John Deere wants simulators. Tiger Cat wants simulators. Cat has simulators. They all are creating their own simulation programs. Timber Pro, Komatsu, all of them. They all want their own simulator for their own brand that they can showcase at their places, their rooms of places where they sell stuff. Their showrooms. That's the word I'm looking for. Showrooms. But man, if you could just tie all that together with one ultimate simulator and like offer a good multiplayer experience, that'd be a big one. That's the biggest problem I have in this game, is the multiplayer experience is pretty sketchball. For logging anyway. I don't know, maybe farming's probably chill because the physics are a little less intense, but the problem is it used to be better and now it sucks, and that irritates me because it's like, man, we should be getting better. We should be improving. What's going on here? Monster time. Just, yeah. Just sucks. But that's okay. You know what? I'm still having fun with the single player, and we're still making progress here, so gotta look at the glass half full. I've spent a lot of my life being cynical and looking at the glass always half empty. It's time we got to turn that around. But I'll tell you, that cynical devil on my shoulder is always there waiting to fill me in with why something could be better. Choose the path of two wolves. It all depends on which one you feed. Insert motivational poster memes and random expressive words from posters. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Just keep doing what we're doing. Have some fun. Oh, uh-oh. Well, that's not working out very well. I must be a high point in the middle there. We'll see if we can fix that. Of course, it's always like right when you're halfway through processing the log, it all goes to crap too. So let's see if we can give that a little bit of a bump there. I feel like that'll work out. Let's try it. We drop some of these... We'll grab this big tree here. Drop some of these big limbs on there. That might fix her up. Bulk. I can just hear it in my head. Some of them make some really cool noises when you drop logs in real life. And that's how you know Jordan's ran out of things to talk about. I start making sound effects for the logs that don't have sound effects. Could sum up my brain after a work day like today. Just kadunk. That basically is it right there. Kadunk. That's going to be the new slogan for FDR Logging. Welcome to Kerdunk. So yeah, basically my intention here is I'm going to keep doing this kind of solo processing with these shorts and lay them out. And then we'll use that forwarder like we have been to just keep shoveling them down the hill to a better spot to load. But, I mean, you know what? We're doing some pretty sketchy angled processing on these hills, and it's not as bad as I was expecting, surprisingly. Which I think is kind of weird, because usually it's pretty bad. Oh, jeez. What's going on here? Oh, I got that one tree stuck. Oh. One tree stuck there. Ah, screw it. We don't want that piece. That's a crappy piece. We don't want that one anyway. But yeah, well, we talked about controllers. We talked about stuff and things to do with FDR logging like usual. But sometimes I run out of subjects. I could talk about other things too. But I don't really know what else there is. Everybody just wants to talk about Farming Simulator all the time. I just don't know what to say about it anymore, honestly. Like, I could just keep repeating myself like the news channels because they don't have anything new to report. There's more DLC coming out, something to do with fishing. I think I talked about that already in an episode. Fishing. It might even be out by the time you guys are watching this. Maybe not. It's hard for me to predict when these episodes are coming out. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, these will be out in like a week. Or, oh god, these will be out in 3 months. I don't know. So it's kind of a shot in the dark of when that's going to happen. But yeah, fishing or something. I don't know. This game is just getting out there for the crazy contents. But you know, if you're a DLC person and you're excited about the fishing, I'm not knocking you, man. Enjoy the fishing stuff. I'm sure it'll be a blast. I'm just more of a, what do you call them? Oh, logger, that's it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work in reverse here because this pile are in these triad steps here. So we're just going to bite into them one at a time. You know what else I could do? I could clear these stumps. Because I always forget I have this stump murdering device. And I don't choose logs. I've done that a couple times and I'm like, whoops. In fact, I'm going to save the game just in case I do something stupid like Alt F4 it. At least then I don't lose as much progress. Because I've done that a couple times now where I just hit Alt F4 not thinking and I'm like, ah, crap, I didn't save. Especially when I'm recording these videos, I get to the end of the video and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Time to go make dinner. Alt F4 and I'm like, oh no. What have I done? I can't believe you've done this. All bad times. But yeah. Oh, here's something I can talk about. Got a little bit of time still, don't we? Oh yeah. Still got like 4 minutes or something. Or whatever the hell I want. Doesn't really matter. What the hell is it? Timber Titans. Okay, so I just saw this on Facebook the other day. I'm not on social media anywhere near what I used to be when I was working less, but I work a lot, and when I'm on social media, it is very limited and not very often. So I came across Timber Titans, which is basically like a modernized version of Axemen. Well, like a new version of Axemen, kind of, where they have like the timber companies all challenging or like looking at each other's progress across a map kind of thing. But in this one, the other ones was Axemen, and I'm so used to Axemen, which is all like kind of the Oregon coastal logging. Even swamp logging was in that one, right? But it's very southerny U.S. kind of stuff. But in this one, there's actually a group called what the hell is it? Freya Logging, I think it was. If I mispronounce that, I'm sorry. But anyway, they're out of Prince George, which is only like a 4-hour drive away from me, just like up the road from where I live. And it's so cool to see like the Canadian stuff, similar to what we're using for the FDR logging stuff here, just in television. I don't know. I think it's super cool. I'm just super inspired by that kind of stuff. I just love it. I love it. That's the kind of stuff that invokes the passion again, to see more logging in media. Because there's just not a lot of it some of these days. Like, geez, it's been really quiet. And I think now, more than ever, with all the crazy tariff stuff and all the crazy lumber supply stuff, like, now's the time, if ever, you should be promoting logging the hardest. Like, especially as, like, a media group, like, how important it is and what it represents, like, across not just Canada, but the U.S., like, everywhere, right? I'm hoping we don't see a very bad downturn in our economies, but things are not looking super great, so logging during bad economies is never does super duper well, so I'm hoping for the best for everybody, but stay strong. But the more stuff we get around logging, the more interest we get in logging, the more entertainment around logging, I think that's all really positive stuff. If not for the next generation, to get them excited about a potential career or future in it, just to bring attention to the subject of logging. So that Timber Titans. Oh my god, I can't remember what it was now. Timber Titans. I think it's Timber Titans. But yeah, it's super cool. So if you guys get a chance, go check that out because it's kind of neat. I just saw it like on Facebook. It's got a little green logo. It's on TV. I don't know if it's a. I didn't really look into it. I don't know if it's like a Canadian thing or an American thing, but it has Canadian stuff in it, and it looked like it had American stuff in it with maybe some choker running yarder kind of stuff. But I might be wrong. It might all be Canadian or it might be a hybrid of both. It's probably Canadian television if it's got Canadian stuff in it. But yeah, if you get a chance, go check that out. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's like Axemen. I was a diehard fan of Axemen. Listen, I realize it's very dramatic and over dramatic and it's overproduced to make it look way more intense than it is. But I'm in it because I like to see the operations. I like to see the machines. I don't really care about the personal dramas and who hates who and blah, 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 blah. But the rest of it's pretty sweet. Look at these. These are sitting pretty nice. I better not get too close to them. They'll start rolling away. Okay, even if I stand next to it, is it wiggling pretty bad? Yeah, they wiggle a bit, but not too bad. Like, it's slowly starting to slide down the hill. So I'll stay away from it until we're ready to load it. But, I mean, like, we dropped these piles on what looks like almost a 45, well, not 45. Pretty sharp hill, though. Like, that's pretty steep. And they're actually sitting in those decks not too horribly. So, I mean, if I came up with the loader, I could throw all these together in a pile and then just start loading that forward or something, too. But, yeah, we'll have some fun with it. It actually flattens out over here, so we could probably even load some of it from over here, but it's all good. We'll figure it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lumberjacks and non-lumberjacks, I am going to call it at this, and we will catch you guys again in the next one. All right, see ya.